Hello, Toyzilla! As always, I am the voice of Toyzilla Live, Mr. Kapow, aka Michael Pow, and with me, as always, the Morty to my Rick, David.
Hey!
And today we have a very, very special guest. It's Bryan Newton, one of the directors of the Rick and Morty series, and as you can probably guess, we're going to be talking about My Little Ponies.
My Little Ponies. We're brony episode. We're overdue. Yeah. No, we are going to be talking about Rick and Morty. We're also talking about Designer Con, which is coming up this weekend. And we're going to be talking about something that just got, hasn't been announced yet. A toy that's coming out that has not been announced anywhere other than this
surprise.
show.
Just wait.
I'm not going to say what it is.
Wait till we get to it.
It's very exciting.
You like to spoil surprises. I know you, David.
No. You give me the nod, and that's when we announce it. But no sooner. No one knows about this. Not even me. I've deleted it from my brain.
All right. Well, anyway, if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to make them. Sadly, we cannot really talk about the newest season of Rick and Morty, NDAs and all that.
Season 4, we can talk about episode 1. But I haven't seen episode 2.
But we could also talk about the past series. And if you have any questions for Bryan about the process that goes on into making these episodes.
That's more what we're interested in anyway. We want to know how Bryan broke into this crazy industry, where he got his start, what he's doing now, all that cool stuff. But we are going to be talking about Rick and Morty because, honestly, I blame you, Bryan.
Spent way too much money on buying Rick and Morty merch.
I pretty much bankrupted Toyzilla buying every single Rick and Morty Funko Pop that came out. And I'm now demanding. Now, the problem is, it's not that these are bad pops. They're really good pops. Funko makes a great product.
You just bought too many of them.
I just bought too many of them. Because we're a small store. We're not Toys R Us. We're not Walmart. We can't move these pops as quickly. So I'm going to ask you for a favor, if you will. I want to make each of these pops a little bit different than one you'd buy at Walmart.
Okay.
I don't care what you do to them, but... Actually,
stick them up my butt.
I was gonna say.
Do something. Okay, with a marker.
Don't just seed pod them. Don't seed pod them.
With a marker. Let's sketch on them, sign them, write something interesting on the window. Whatever you will do.
Sure.
Okay, but that's your challenge to do during this episode. But let's just start at the beginning, shall we? What you're an artist like me. You love to draw.
Yep,
I'm sure.
Doing it now.
And what was like the first thing that got you into? I mean, maybe that's going really far back.
No, that's fair because this is almost what we do on our podcast, the Animation Success Stories podcast. That's the ASS podcast, where we interview people about their animation story and career.
Cool.
So, you want to go all the way back to
let's
when I was
go back to inside the womb. What were you working on?
We're going to time travel, unlike Rick and Morty.
Oh, yes. None of that.
Yeah, well, as early as you like to talk about.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to be born in L.A., Los Angeles, South L.A., and I've been watching cartoons for as long as I can remember. I mean, I'm of the era of, like, He-Man, Thundercats, the real Ghostbusters. Those are, like, my jams.
80s shows are the best.
Definitely.
Yes.
I've been going through, like, 80s animation openings, and there's just nothing like it. But I think two of my biggest inspirations for animation were Batman the Animated Series, 92, and The Brave Little Toaster, as far as features.
Oh, yeah, The Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah. I think
it's like the animated version of Homeward Bound.
Yeah, pretty much. And it came out maybe about 7 years before, because Homeward Bound's like early 90s, 91, 92.
Yeah. It's like instead of like animals, it's like appliances.
Yeah. Appliances.
And I blame Brave Little Toaster on why I like hoard toys. Because like you don't want to get rid of your appliances because then they'll come back to you. They're like,
I know.
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
My little buddies.
Jeez.
But yeah, like those were highly influential. As long as also like Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, those came a bit later. But that was what sparked me to pursue, like, I like drawing, and I like drawing these characters. And then we also grew up in the era of, like, early Nicktoons with Rugrats, Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life came a bit later. While I was drawing, I think I took a little lull in middle school, but then got back into it in high school. And then I was drawing like comic books, like X-Men, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy's not a comic, but you know that like anime style aesthetic, Dragon Ball. And then I fucking mastered and perfected that one.
Nice.
And so then I went to school at a college called Otis College of Art and Design.
Otis, yeah. I know
Westchester. Otis. Oh yeah, you would know. it's like your rival.
yeah. I'm trying to remember who went to Otis. Was Angelo Dinallo? Did you know?
That name sounds familiar. Do you remember what class they're in?
Shoot. No, but he worked at Tim Mouse a lot.
I rarely
Super
run
Jail
Otis
and
grad, so it's always good to see someone else from there. I graduated in like class 2004. Went to digital media. So like Otis doesn't have like a proper animation course. So I talked to like the head at the time, Harry Mott, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do cartoons. You can't stop me. Nice. I basically used like After Effects, Photoshop at the time to kind of create my own animation narrative, and I did like a 3-minute short film for my thesis.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. And then immediately from there, I started working at a company called Mike Young Productions.
Oh,
Now they're known as Splash. At the time, they had Clifford the Big Red Dog and the last He-Man series from 2004.
Yeah.
He-Man's what I know it for,
Yeah, and I missed that show by like a month. By the time I started working there, they had already wrapped up production.
Yeah,
so I didn't get to see anyone there.
The show should have lasted longer.
Oh hell yeah, that show's amazing. And I know what the future plans for that show.
Yeah, Hordak.
Yeah, they were gonna do Hordak. They were gonna introduce She-Ra. Yeah. It was cool. Like I found out from a local animation cowboy named Gary Hartle exactly what the future of that show was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Too bad they didn't really do did they do a comic book like continuing?
They did, but I don't think it went further than the show itself. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. And then, so my first show I worked on at Mike Young was a children's show called Todd World on Discovery Kids, and then Flash show, and then immediately after that I worked on another Discovery Kid show called Growing Up Creepy. Those were both like 2004, 2005. The first big studio show I worked on was called Outer Jimmy's Head.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Half animation, half live action. When Cartoon Network's trying to do their Cartoon Reel program.
Yeah, I remember that.
The live action.
Bad decision by some people. But I was doing animation on that show. Shortly thereafter. That's why I met Stone, by the way, Dave Stone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dave Stone, who's
been
on our show
right now. Also, who's actually watching?
Is he watching?
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
Dave.
Notification.
He must have
Cool.
known. Somehow he knew.
I shared it all over the place too.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. He did a good job. I was trying to plug a hole in the ceiling where water was spewing.
The one time it rains in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Apparently, we don't have a roof anymore at TOYZILLA. So.
Because you bought too many toys.
Yeah. This is
Which
where
I
all the
blame
roof
on
money
you
went
for
on.
making Rick, helping make Rick and Morty and all these characters that we keep having to buy.
This show's too popular. I can't be blamed for that. So, like, after Cartoon Network, I briefly worked for the Looney Tunes show in 2009.
That's
right.
I love Looney Tunes.
Yeah, did storyboards for that. I worked on another show for my first Adult Swim show. I worked on was called Mongo Wrestling Alliance.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I remember that.
I did boarding for that, and then what did I do after Mongo? Did some Disney development for like a couple of months, and then I went back to Cartoon Network to animate on a show called Problem Solvers, which is the show's very grody looking, but it was the most fun animating it because the conceit was you're animating like early 2000s Flash animation.
Oh,
yeah. So it's just like, oh, this is a no-brainer. This is super easy. And then while I was working on Problem Solvers, Justin had me come in and help him do boards for the initial pilot for Rick and Morty, which was basically only the animatic. So I was like moonlighting doing that for like a week or two with Justin, my friend Noel Belknap, and then Ryan Elder was there too, and he was editing. He's the composer for Rick and Morty.
While you were working on it, was it clear that this is going to happen, or it was like, is this kind of too weird for it to actually get on air?
We knew Dan was involved, Dan Harmon, and he was like season 3 of, maybe working on season 3 of Community at the time. Yeah, so it was like, I knew the show was going to make it on air no matter what.
Yeah.
Justin was like the new factor, but he had worked on like House of Cosby's and Unacceptable Television. Or Acceptable Television, whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah, I guess that's my one. So
one more apparently. According to V, we all get 2.
I'll hold it for a bit. So yeah, like we got that animatic through, and then Adult Swim approved the pilot. Maybe about a couple months later. So we worked on the initial pilot, which was like the full pilot. Mike Chillian did the designs for it. He was art director. Noel returned and did boards, and a bunch of us did the initial pilot, which took like maybe 3 months.
Did you think that it would have gotten to be as big as it actually is?
Absolutely not.
No?
No way I predicted. Like, I figured like the show, because of Dan Harmon's involvement, it would have gotten like easily 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
That was like, that's safe. Because like Dan Harmon's a name you can trust, and like even Venture Brothers are still going on today.
Oh, that's still going?
Yeah, it's still. So I figure like, okay.
It's like, I'm safe. I got a job for a while.
Yeah, that's as a working artist, that's pretty much all you want. Just like, can I feed myself for the next month or 2? And thanks to Rick and Morty, I was able to. So after we finished the initial pilot, we had to wait for maybe like 4 or 5 months before we got the official greenlit word for season 1. In between time, I worked on the first episode of Teen Titans Go.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, nice. So that's another great one.
Yeah, so I was on the first season of that, and then in the middle of finishing that season is when we got the word to go work on that green production on Rick and Morty season 1 that started, and Justin invited me on to direct. So that was my first time directing. Was the Me Seeks and Destroy episode.
Nice, one of my favorite episodes.
Thanks.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
With Father Smurf.
Actually, it's become one of the iconic Rick and Morty episodes too.
Yeah,
I don't remember Papa Smurf being in it though.
No.
Is that canon or no?
Sure. I mean, it's the other blue guy.
Why not?
Yeah, he's blue. Yeah. He might be a Meeseeks, I guess.
Maybe
that's it.
You might be constructing an origin story for the Meeseeks. Like they were all Smurfs that just went wrong.
Yeah.
Smurfs that went rogue.
Yes. Yeah.
Rogue Smurfs. So yeah, that was the first episode I directed, and the second one I directed that season was Ricksty Minutes, the first interdimensional cable. That was fun. I worked with.
I love how it was like.
Yeah,
I heard
that's
that
from the pilot.
Yeah, I heard that it was a bunch of people just ad-libbing, and then later on, you guys
put
the animation into it.
We've talked about this on the DVD commentary, and I've talked about this in other interviews, where we basically had. Justin would go into a booth and would just ad-lib everything, those individual shorts. So we didn't have a script on that one. Normally we work off the script and then we board to it. This one is unusual, so we're working off the audio, and Justin and the other writers are just like, create whatever you want for this scenario. Sometimes he'd have ideas for like, I did the Antimai Johnson, and like Justin did a little drawing of Antimai, and so I just boarded based on that. But that's one of Justin's drawings. But for other ones like Two Brothers and what was the one with Turbulent Juice? Yeah, we just go off of like whatever this sounded like. And my the board team I had for that season was Juan Leon and Mark Maxey.
Which was your favorite one of those little shorts?
The one I did that I took was Fake Doors.
Fake Doors?
Yeah, Fake Doors. I remember hearing the audio of that and just cracking up. I was like, I have to do this one.
I really wish that I could have been there just to hear all the, the sound booth stuff.
Yeah. The one that I didn't work on that was like one of my favorites is easily Gazorp Field. Yeah, that's just just genius. And of course, that's another one with Justin cracks.
I mean, it was just all improv.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so there's like 2 or 3 that we didn't get to do, but it's basically as intended. And especially from the artist point of view, sometimes you go in there and they have designs or ideas for designs going in. You just kind of interpret that. But this is one that like Mark, Juan, and I had the like almost full control to design ahead of time. So like with Two Brothers, like that's my art style. The way that one came out. That's why it's so different. And then like was it Strawberry Smiggles? That's the way Mark draws.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, I can see our artistic influences in there. So that one kind of came out in a very unique way.
That's really cool when actually your vision comes through that completely, because normally it's a big team of people contributing, and
Yeah, like usually you're going off of what the designers pre-designed, but this is the opposite. Designers are going off of what we pre-designed, which is rare in a scripted show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you too, since you started with storyboards and then moved into directing. Is there, say, something you prefer about one or the other, or do you still get to draw as a director, but you just maybe direct storyboarders?
Rarely. On this,
No?
on Rick and Morty, and sometimes on Titans, which I've directed on Titans for season 3. Your job is basically as a manager. So my personal directing style, I like to read a script, work with my board artists, and say if there's any specific scene or sequence that speaks to you, I'd rather you take that because you'll be inspired and you'll do a better job with it. So I'm cultivating their vision and addressing any questions or concerns and making sure everything works together. So that and directing animation, that's essentially so. Seasons 1 and 2 of Rick and Morty, I had to draw some sequences myself. Season 3 and 4, I didn't have as much on my plate, and I was working with more board artists too, so I can delegate a little more. Yeah.
Cool.
So it varies on different shows, but usually as a director, I'm just managing.
Which did you prefer to do as a artist, to do the art stuff or to direct?
So when I'm not directing, when I'm doing storyboarding or even animation, it's less stress, simply because you just come in and you're like, all right, I have to crank out 2 to 3 sequences a day. I can just sit down, not think about anything, and just work through and then go home. When you're directing, it's more like you're constantly being interrupted because people have questions. You have to oh wait, the story's not working. You have to retool something, so it's a little more the mental pressure is higher as a director, and honestly, sometimes I get bored because I want to draw, but I can't because I have to hand out scenes to everybody. It's like, oh wait, I have nothing for myself. Sometimes I'll keep some things, but
I heard some artists who became directors, they have they carry around a notebook.
Speaking of drawing, get back to work.
They end up doodling on the notebook they carry around while they're working.
Sure.
Do you do something like that?
Yeah, if you're prolific enough, you should be drawing constantly, and ideally use that downtime to work on your own personal stuff. Which, as a working artist, I cannot stress enough that you should have some more mental time for your own projects because you're not going to have it otherwise. And it gets really when you get home, you just want to relax.
Yeah,
and
you
play
just want to
some-
sleep. Grab a beer.
Borderlands or Outerlands, or Outer Worlds. Just do anything else but draw.
No,
for
I
anyone else.
totally get that. Well, speaking of, let's talk about the toys for a minute here, because I know you guys didn't go in saying we're gonna do a show that's gonna make a lot of toys.
I think Justin did.
Did he? Okay, I was
He
saying
was
no.
merch. I understand merch. He was George Lucasing.
Because
one of the things I knew he wanted most was a Lego set.
he did want.
set.
Okay, so let's talk about that first. We got now it's not Legos, but it's McFarlane who actually makes building. Okay, it's green on that. You better flip it around.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't have the green. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we gotta be careful tonight because there's a lot of green on a lot of these things. But Rick and Morty seems to have a green palette. But there's the first one done. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna work our way through all of these. So the McFarlane did a very good line. They seem to be very, very popular. So it's kind of a cross between Legos and I don't know, just kind of cool action figures. It's a building set.
We got Jason Logan saying Rick and Morty rules.
Nice.
I guess Jason knows what he's talking about.
I think so. But I think these sets are very popular. I mean, they're not super expensive either. You got 293 pieces. You can build both the ship and the garage.
Yeah.
It's a really cool set.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Mega Bloks.
Oh,
a little bit.
Yeah, it's very mega
Yeah.
blocky.
I've got one over here too. So this one's 129 pieces, and you can build. All right, this one is summer. Let's see. Oh, you shall now call me Snowball. So you got actually the whole Snowball mech.
Snowball episode.
From Lawnmower Dog.
Lawnmower Dog. Yeah.
Which funny story behind that? It might be mentioned in the season 1 DVD, but the whole. Does anyone else know the story about Dog World?
No.
Yeah, Dog World.
It was the TV show that they were working on before Rick and Morty, right?
Exactly. So there's a joke at the end of the episode where it's like, I don't know, let's move to a dog world. We can turn it into a board-driven show. I don't know, that's a thing, right? And so that's Justin had a pitch to, I believe, Cartoon Network, which was going to be Dog World. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's basically, it's not too different from the Snowball episode where it's just a world where humans are the pets and dogs are the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so we got
I'm
that.
also wondering, Do you collect any of these Rick and Morty merch for yourself?
I have a few.
Few?
Yeah.
What's your favorite piece in your collection?
Let me think. So you have this little Meeseek here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have the same one because this is like some of the earliest merchandise
Yeah.
we actually had.
Yeah.
I have that variant. I think I have the Hot Topic one, and I know I have one of the basic Meeseeks.
Yeah.
The reason I like that is because on that episode, real quick story, in the original draft of that script, the Meeseeks didn't get damaged. Like they had that chaos in the house, but they weren't physically injured by it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm tooting my own horn. I actually went up to Justin and was like, hey, can they, even though I know they're immortal, they can't die, and that's the point, but they should still be like ripped apart,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I actually
Jacked up.
Yeah, so I actually went through really quick and kind of like designed mutilated versions of the Meeseek. So like the arm ripping, the dented head. So I did a few of those. So
Yeah,
like,
you know what? When I first saw them, do you guys remember that old Crash Test Dummy cartoon?
oh, I love Crash Test Dummies,
Yeah, that's what the Meeseeks kind of reminded me of a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's great, too. So this one was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. You had to go to the Adult Swim booth and I think complete some feat of strength, and then you would kind of be awarded one of these. And they had the comic book, too. And this is what I love because it just looks like the stuffing is torn out of the arm there.
Yeah.
And it's, like, coming out.
Which
So.
that's pre-made, so that's supposed to be that way. You didn't get a broken toy.
Cool. And then, this was another point.
Yep.
Okay. I've seen so many people do Rick and Morty cosplay at conventions and everything else.
yeah.
And these are sold at Hot Topic, also here at TOYZILLA. But you can get Rick and Morty masks. You can get, costumes. I saw a company that was licensing, I think, a full body, like lab coat outfit cosplay. So I know at this point there are a ton of licensees. I think I actually have a catalog.
Rick and Morty
that has
is like
merch here.
honestly everywhere now. Do you know what really surprised me? One of the most recent partnership of Rick and Morty was Rick and Morty and All Elite Wrestling. They had an All Elite Wrestling night that was sponsored by Adult Swim's Rick and Morty. They had a couple of wrestlers go down dressed up as Rick and Morty.
Oh my
They had
God.
the Rick and Morty voiceover introducing them.
Also, Justin did the voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they gave a mask, the Rick and Morty mask, to like everybody in attendance.
Wow.
God, show's
Yeah.
way too popular.
No, and they're
even the turnbuckles was like Rick and Morty style.
yeah.
They're green, like green
Yeah.
portals.
No, they had the green portals and everything.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, down the block we have an ice cream shop that has Rick and
Oh.
Morty ice cream right now.
I know what you're talking about. What were they called?
Afters.
Afters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Afters, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one in Hollywood which I went to as well. Actually, the Rick and Morty ice cream is really good.
The,
Like,
the
they have-
portal flavor is
Yeah, the portal
really
one's good. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
also another one like Dark Matter.
Dark matter.
Yeah.
I can't actually have that, but I tasted the portal, even though I'm lactose intolerant. and
Ah,
I
So you
didn't-
take a
A little
lactate,
bit.
man. Take a lactate.
yeah,
then you end
yeah.
up like this, like Rick.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Doing a little
Oh,
homage
man.
to it. Yeah.
But-
So I have a catalog here that has, I won't go through everything, but there's some merch, there's magnets, there is stickers, there are posters, there are T-shirts, every
Oh, there we got another
conceivable
one.
keychains. I mean, you got everything. There is plenty of merch. So, yeah. Now, I wanted to bring up this. Well, we're just going to talk a little bit about season 4 now. The first episode, not the second.
Oh, apparently Nikki and Chad saying Afters is the best,
Afters is the best. Yeah,
but he says nothing beats Fossilman's though.
I've never heard of them.
it's been around a long time. We have a Fossilman's in Alhambra too.
I think they all closed down though, didn't they?
No, they're still in business. Don't say that. Mello, if you will, throw up the Rick and Morty Funko Pop picture 1, because this was interesting to me. They actually took they did a whole run of Rick and Morty Pops based only on the first episode of season 4.
Yep.
And
Oh,
there's
there's a
even more
theory.
than that.
I mean, Spencer's just today released a T-shirt just based on episode 2.
Now,
Oh, they're doing the thing
yeah.
that Venture Brothers did on that season 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was Rick taking a number 2 on season
on
4.
this toilet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now just look at that teddy bear Rick. Now, see, as a retailer, we get these images way before we see the episode. So I saw all these characters, and I'm like, oh, teddy bear Rick, that is adorable. Surely he's going to be a recurring, Teddy Rick is going to be a recurring character that's going to be in every episode. He's going to live on forever
You never
in
know.
Rick and Morty. And then I just saw the episode today, and he has like the shortest amount of screen time, almost,
Yeah, the Rick that is our Rick as the teddy bear Rick is dead, but there's still a teddy bear Rick in that universe.
Yeah.
Okay, there is. So it's possible maybe we'll come back. But I was like,
Honestly, I love
I just
all
ordered 4 master cases of Teddy Rick. But no, it's cool.
Well, they're collector's editions now.
Go ahead. And then show the next image there, the Rick and Morty pop. So we have a character. I have no idea who this is, but this came out as a Comic-Con.
That's Taika Waititi.
He hasn't seen this episode.
I haven't seen episode 2. And
Yeah,
we're
but the voice is
the
Taika.
voice is Taika.
okay.
yeah.
So I don't know who this
and,
is.
And
but-
actually, this was the first kind of like tease for season 4 at Comic Con.
Yeah.
This past year was this scene with this character.
With this character.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess some people knew about it, but I feel like the merch is coming out so fast. It's almost predating the episode. So
I have nothing to do with that. That's all.
no complaint. It's kind of cool, but we don't know who these characters are, and then we've got a toy. But I mean, it's awesome.
Brian, I got a question for you.
Yes.
We talked about merch. I'm wondering, we talked a little bit about, Rick and Morty teaming up with other franchises and other stuff. What's your favorite team up that Rick and Morty has done thus far?
Well, I'm jealous I didn't get to work on the Simpsons opening.
The Simpsons.
Oh, that was great.
That was a while back, and I was even surprised we got that, considering how early it was in the show's popularity. The Carl's Jr. ad's really fun.
The Carl Jr. ad.
And the Death Stranding one popped up too.
Oh,
No,
yeah, that
okay.
one. I remember that one. Yeah.
So my absolute favorite is the Run the Jewels.
the what?
The Run the Jewels Rick and Morty music video
Oh,
for
yeah.
I think it's Mama is the track of the
yeah.
song. Okay, so the funny thing about that is there is a Run the Jewels logo with the Rick and Morty portal gun and like Morty's fist holding
Yeah.
the chain. I think that happened before we even made the deal. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that happened before they made the deal to actually do the music video. And one of the there's a project that my friend Matt Taylor directed, who I also worked with Justin on the community thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't talk about that. Sorry. Justin, Mike Chili, and Matt Taylor and I, the reason we all met and worked together, we were working on season 2 of Community for an animation at the end where the dean makes a cartoon.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I love that show.
So we all worked on that, and then Matt Taylor went on to go work on Super Jail. He was like one of the animation directing leads. But he did a Rick and Morty Exquisite Corpse, and Exquisite Corpse is an animation artist thing where you take one artist does one drawing, another artist comes in and does another drawing on top of that to connect. So there's a whole sequence of different artists and animators drawing Rick and Morty in when he drops acid or something. and the whole thing is keeps changing styles, like a short video that is done for Adult Swim. So Matt Taylor directed that. Matt Taylor, he told me this recently. He picked the song, which happened to be, I think Thursdays in the Danger Room is the name of the song from Run the Jewels. He picked the song because it was in Adult Swim's library. So by complete accident, he picked the Run the Jewels song, and then maybe a year or two later, Run the Jewels was working with Rick and Morty to produce that music video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so complete accident. It wasn't like a giant plan, we're going to promote Run the Jewels and Rick and Morty together. No, Matt was like, that's a cool song, so we're going to use it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Small world, too.
It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna bank on that. It's like, you know what? I just start working on it,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But
It
just
might
in
be
case,
just a great minds thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Man, well, I'm really digging the new season of Rick and Morty so far, though I've only
You
seen
only
the
seen
first
one episode.
episode. I know, but it's quite an
Admittedly,
opener.
That's
I'm
a
like,
great episode. Erica Hayes directed that. She was Erica's story is great. She started off as a storyboard revisionist. I think Rick and Morty was her first job on in animation.
Wow, what a great way to start.
And she was on season 1, moved up to boards in season 2, and then season 3 she was boarding as well and directing now for this season. And she got the first episode and she nailed it.
that's pressure, the opener.
For
Season
people who want to get into animation, what suggestion would you give them? What advice?
First off, watch Animation Success Stories on YouTube, Animation Success Stories podcast, and we give a lot of information about that. But The thing you'll know, just watching our podcast, is the fact that there is no one way. There's no right answer. It's just my main recommendation is draw a lot, draw often, and then once you're good enough at drawing, post your work, show your work, and then reach out to other professionals and industries and say, like, here's my examples of my work. If you're good enough, people will reach out to you. And if you want to do animation specifically, learn that there's a lot of different jobs.
Yeah. Like social media has like really changed the landscape, hasn't it?
Tremendously, yeah. Like back in my day, we still had to have like tangible hard portfolios.
Yeah.
We'd take to the studio. Now, like, if you have your Tumblr
website,
yes, do that. Yeah, any sort of website, a Tumblr, a DeviantArt, a Facebook, anywhere, Twitter, anywhere you can post your work, do it. People will see you. Studios may reach out to you. People who work in those studios may reach out to you, and just form that collective of other artists online. And people talk, and you find out about gigs. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you recommend that people bone up on their computer software, or is it?
Learning the software is tremendous, but like if you only want to do like design work, just know your basics, Photoshop or anything like that. If you want to animate, then you should know the animation programs.
What would you suggest? What's the industry standard program these days?
Right now, most shows are done digitally through Harmony. Outside of like 3D shows, 3D is not my wheelhouse, so ask a 3D artist for that. But I've also made a career off of Flash animation.
I love Flash, yes.
Yeah. So if you can do Flash, you can probably manage most other programs.
Okay.
Yeah, Flash to me is just the easiest, and we don't need Adobe Animate, but since Adobe, if you're watching though, great program.
Well, what's interesting about that is that when Adobe bought Flash, like what, in the late 2000s, like 2008, 2007, they held on to it for a while, but didn't upgrade it or integrate it into their style until more recently. And they were kind of late on that train, and then like Harmony kind of came through and kind of like pushed them out of the market right now. But there's still a degree of shows that are done in Flash. For example, like Teen Titans Go. That's all Flash. We boarded and animated in Flash. The output's still in Flash, and a lot of the designs are still in Flash. So that's a Flash show. Well, the movie was too.
Yeah. Yep. Well, talking about art, DesignerCon is coming up.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about DesignerCon.
This upcoming weekend, actually. You're familiar with DesignerCon, right, Brad?
Yes, I've been a couple of times.
So for somebody who hasn't been to DesignerCon, what would you
let's
describe
tell them
it
what
as?
to expect there, because DesignerCon, honestly, it's artists who actually make things. So like this is something you'd find at DesignerCon, for example, and this is like a do-it-yourself
It's like a
blind figure
website, like we were talking about, like for artists to showcase their work. It's like their website, but in real life.
Yeah, so it's a lot of these people. They don't make a. I mean, they'll make their own figure. Either one-offs are really big, or they will, manufacture something like this that other people can contribute to and sketch on. So I've been sketching on this all week, making it look more and more crazy, just for DesignerCon. And then we have our own toy, which is purposely made kind of ridiculously, and it wouldn't sell anywhere other than DesignerCon. I know Michael's very familiar with my balls.
Don't say that.
Wait, don't interrupt me. I'm speaking of Super Duper Ball Busters.
So why can't I have nice things?
So
that was smooth, by the way.
Yeah. I was like, don't interrupt me before I finish. It's gonna sound really weird. But this is a toy that really has no place in the market outside of DesignerCon because it is so weird, and you can only buy it at our booth at DesignerCon. We're not gonna sell it after this. So if you want to find out where you can find the TOYZILLA booth. Oh, yep, he is right on the ball today. Look, there is booth 3014. Get your balls at TOYZILLA booth 3014. In the past, and so these are basically, we've done, I think, 6 packs of these. This one is really the best because you get 3 little figures. And as I found out from my daughter, when you're trying to bust balls, little kids are at the right height to nail you every time. And, which one's your favorite? You like Thai tea, right, Michael?
Yeah, I like Thai
the
tea.
one that's small hand, good for factory work.
Sure.
Yeah,
God damn it.
we're not being racist.
I'm not. You're the one who made those.
I didn't make them. They were made in Vietnam. Yes. If you look at the packaging, they're actually made in Vietnam.
Authentically Vietnamese.
Authentically made.
Well, Brian,
So-
Brian, you said you've been to a couple of designer con.
Yes.
What's
I was at the first one.
What was the favorite thing that you've seen
gotten big.
since you've been going?
So I don't know if this artist still attends, but this one artist did a steampunk gizmo duck.
Oh, nice.
It was,
I remember that. Yeah.
It was
I
going
do,
for like maybe $1,000 bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had the money.
Was that a one-off? It was like just
it was
that's
like,
what I'm
This
saying.
guy did a sculpt. I was like,
Yeah,
I would
it's a
buy
sculpt.
that. I would buy it. I would buy it.
Yeah. Now there's some things you got to go early. That's my advice. There's a VIP Friday night where you can go in. Some of these artists are huge and they know they can get thousands and
Black
thousands
Friday.
of dollars.
Black
Many
Friday.
of them are industry artists
Yeah.
too. Like I
Yeah.
have a couple of friends who do tables there.
But some, I mean, they might sell their piece for like $10-20, and it's a one-off. And you just happen to see it at the right time, and you're like, you know what, that is awesome, and I'm gonna buy it.
Well, I also loved how it's starting to become more kind of international, and also there's actually
Oh,
a lot of
wow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yep. A lot of
It's
East
probably
Co-
like this big on the table. Oh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't see me behind it. Yeah. That
That's
thing's-
well worth $1,000
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah,
I
would-
mean,
that is
and it's
awesome.
one of a kind too. So I'm like, yeah, of course I would drop that money. But I'm an artist. I'm broke.
yeah.
Aren't we all?
Man. So yeah, there's some amazing stuff there. So there's artists like Paul Kaiju who lives in Japan and does these. He has a crazy fan base. I mean, you'll have lines of people down the path just trying to get these figures, and there's raffles, and I mean it's very underground, but it's also like there's a huge fan base to support it there. So. Check it out. I know Funko came last year, and now we think of Funko as they started kind of indie, but they're kind of mainstream now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. So
They're huge.
they launched the Funko cereal line at Designer Con, and they exclusive boxes, exclusive cereal bowls, and spoons, and all that, which I dropped so much money on.
We
And
still have some of those boxes of cereal in the store.
I have a lot of them, and they're all expired now. So
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. But
It's still good. Don't trust expiration dates.
it's as good as it was because I tasted it fresh, and it did not taste
It's all
good.
process.
Yeah, but this year Funko will have a Mark Hamill figure, which will only be there, and I saw a whole bunch of different variants of this Mark Hamill figure. It looks pretty awesome. I don't know. Are they saying Mark Hamill's going to actually be there? Signing
Maybe,
it, or
maybe.
I don't know what the connection is with Mark Hamill, but it looks very
Honestly,
cool.
Mark Hamill, someone just shows up. Yeah.
He might just drop
Kind of like,
by
what is it,
and-
Bill Murray just magically shows up and like, nobody's going to believe you, and steals a fry.
No, I wouldn't believe if Mark Hamill stole my burger. Like, who am I going to complain to? It's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. He's hungry.
Yeah. So if you go to designercon.com right now, click on exclusives, you'll see my balls along with lots of other really cool exclusives, which probably you'll want a little bit more than the balls. But the balls are awesome too. We only got like 10 of these made, so buy 'em.
I think it's time. Let's talk about some new toy news.
Let's head off the new toy news with something I'm going to do a surprise announcement of. Now, you remember we had an episode talking about Chibi-Ramas from Toy-Chi-Rama. Just today, we got approval. We got signed contracts back from Crunchyroll, which gave us permission, at long last, to announce that we have a partnership with Crunchyroll to produce a new toy based on a very popular IP from Japan. None other than Dr. Stone. So, throw up the graphic there, Mello. We will be promoting this at DesignerCon. So we're doing a Kickstarter campaign, which Kickstarter means that if it doesn't get funded, it doesn't get made, which we're very serious about. So if you don't back this campaign, which you cannot back right now because it's not live yet.
Those are adorable.
Yeah.
But if you don't back this, we don't make it. But Dr. Stone is one. I think we're going to talk about Dr. Stone for a second, but it's a really hot anime series, not only because it's got a great characters, great storyline, it actually teaches real-world science, which don't try these experiments at home. It gives you a disclaimer. But we love Dr. Stone, and we took some of the biggest, most epic scenes from Dr. Stone. We turned these into Chibi-Rama sets. What you're seeing right there is the moment that they introduce the light bulb back to the stone world, and there's actual light in the darkness, which is a really cool scene if you've seen the episode or read the manga. And Brian, I understand you've read the manga of Dr. Stone, right?
Right, and I'm not sure how far they are in the anime yet.
Let's see, they're up to the 25th episode is the first season. There can be 25 episodes.
What have they invented?
They invented light.
Yeah, they got
I think
light.
they're barely getting
I'm
to
up
that
to,
war. They're barely getting to the war.
They just, I'll tell you the episode.
so
The last
we're on the
episode
same
I
point.
saw, they did cotton candy. So,
Okay, yeah,
which
I
was
remember
to
that in the
create the first cell phone or phone.
Yeah.
That's where they are with the
Okay,
anime.
yeah,
So.
they're still trying to get to communication as far as
Communication.
what I'm reading,
Yeah.
at least in the Viz release volume. So that's
That's why I
as
like
far as
reading the manga so much better because we're so much ahead on the story.
You're way ahead of me. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna read the manga. I'm gonna catch up to the anime, and then.
But it's a very impressive looking
Yeah.
series. So I
Oh,
get
yeah.
it if you just want to watch it. I do the
Yeah.
same thing with like My Hero Academia. I'd rather watch it than read it.
Yeah. Well, so they're gonna do a second season of Dr. Stone.
Yep.
So 25 episodes. I assume another 25. This thing just keeps going and going and snowballing, getting better. So there's no toys for this. No toys in Japan. No toys in the U.S. especially. You want to get toys? Please back us. We do not have a lot of money. We're not a big company. We're a small company. We're not Funko. We are like this size, and Funko is like this big, and
We could just use some help.
if you don't back
Well, if
this,
you-
this doesn't get made.
Just
and
get the
that's
figures.
Yeah.
Back it for like,
Yeah.
hey, if I
Yeah.
contribute to this, that I might get that figure.
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, I
exactly.
think the lowest
It's not- yeah.
backing. I mean, you could pay $1, but if you want just one figure, it's like $15, and then
so much worth it.
so worth
much
it, so worth it, and you will help us get this
Yeah.
made, and you'll be part of the process too. You're going to be giving us feedback and comments and notes on all along the way. Our design team is paying attention right now to social media, so I'll give you that link again for our Facebook page because that's where you want to go to start following us. Facebook, and then later will be Twitter, Instagram. But yeah, it's just the Facebook.com, Toichirama or Chibirama, and you'll find us. Anyway, new toys other than Dr. Stone.
All right. Well, first off, if producer Mello could put up the Aliens and Predators image. Y'all a fan of Aliens and Predators?
Oh yeah.
Yep. From NECA is the Aliens and Predator Classics assortment. They stand at 5.5 inches tall, featuring the Berserker Predator from Predators and the Neomorph from Aliens Covenant. Set for release in early December. Guys, want to guess how much this one's going to cost you each?
It's a NECA, so it's a little pricey, but it's worth it. They're going to be about $30 each.
Brian?
How big did you say they were?
5.5 inches.
5.5.
They're like
I'd
the
say like
the
20,
yeah.
25.
You're the closer one. It's about $14.99.
Oh,
Yeah.
you win.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have the They Live 2-pack. You guys remember the movie They Live with Roddy Piper?
Oh, yeah,
The-
yeah.
favorite
one of the
movies.
best fight sequences
Yeah.
of all time.
Exactly.
Mimicked in South
Put
Park.
it on. Put
Mimicked
it on.
in the cripple fight episode of South Park.
Yes. It's a They Live 2-pack, also from NECA. They stand at 8 inches tall, featuring actual cloth clothing. And this one doesn't have a price yet,
Okay.
but it's actually supposed to be released really, really soon on December 2nd.
Are they going to do
Oh,
a Keith David and Roddy Piper figure?
I really hope so.
Keep
I
David-
really, really hope so.
Keith David, voice of the president.
Yeah,
Rick and Morty.
a trash can needs to be like an accessory. All right, next up we have RoboCop.
RoboCop,
You
yes.
guys like RoboCop?
Oh, yeah.
You put RoboCop.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
Nice.
It's the RoboCop and Battle Damage RoboCop from Hiya Toys. They are 1/8 scale, featuring a metallic paint job. As you can see, we got RoboCop with the data spike.
I know, but that
and-
looks so much like a weapon. It's
Yeah.
like, I feel so violated if I was a hard drive or something, like a USB
Also,
port. I'm like, oh.
RoboCop
80s
when
future.
he's been all busted up.
Yes.
It's gonna cost you about. It's gonna be released on August 2020.
August 2020.
And what guys want to guess?
Wait,
how much
wait,
this
what?
one is?
How big is this?
1/18 scale.
Oh, these are going to be up there.
They're pretty detailed. They're pretty
I'm
detailed.
just going to say.
You'd be surprised. I'm just gonna say you're gonna be surprised.
It doesn't look that articulated though.
Yeah, but 1/8 scale, that's got to be what? I'm just going to say $300.
300.
Wow. I wouldn't go that high. I'd go like maybe 90.
90?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Brian's the closest, but
Oh.
you're still way off.
Oh man.
1999.
Wait. How
You
big?
said 1/8. Jesus.
1/18.
1/18.
Oh,
sorry.
1/18.
You said 1/8.
I said 1/18.
You said
I think he
1/8,
said
dude.
1/8.
You said
1/18.
1/8.
Okay, guys, who was paying attention? Tell us
Okay.
what he said.
I'm sorry. I heard 1/18.
1/18.
You did hear 1/18?
Yeah, I heard
Crazy.
1/18.
Okay, we
We're
both
crazy.
heard a
Yeah.
1/8.
Yeah.
So
1/18.
okay, that's fine. I'll
All right. Then next up we have
Price
because
is Right rules.
David
yeah.
loves Funko Pops. We have the Captain America Funko Pop. It's the Captain America wood deco.
That's
Funko Pop.
kind of
That's
cool.
wood- that's actually with a wood design.
So it's a vinyl toy that looks like wood.
Yep. This one's going to be released on January 2020th. You guys want to guess how much this
Okay,
one's going to cost you?
this I think I know. $14.99.
I'll go $20.
Actually, David has it right on the money. $14.99.
Nah.
Entertainment Earth always does exclusives. They're always $14.99.
You-
I
'cause this
couldn't be
is-
wrong on that one.
Yeah, this is your wheelhouse, man.
You got me B on the other ones.
All right. The last
I buy a
one
lot of toys.
we have is you guys excited about the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker movie?
Sure.
Yeah.
I like Mandalorian.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yep. This is
Oh,
the
that looks
Rey
pretty.
Oh,
and
it's a Hot Toys.
D0 Star Wars Rise of Skywalker figure from Hot Toys.
Nice.
Okay.
Hot Toys does great
One
stuff.
they do.
six.
1/6.
Not 1/16.
1/6.
Sure.
1/6.
No, I think I got this one.
All right.
1/6.
It's
okay.
featuring detailed likeness of Daisy Ridley, a new head sculpt with 28 points of articulation, 4 pairs of hands, lightsaber with 2 different blades, staff, blaster, the DO droid, training helmet, training remote, bag, and a special stand.
I swear, if she doesn't stick that staff and that lightsaber in her staff by the end of this movie, I'm going to be sorely disappointed.
It's going to be released in actually May 2021 to June 2021. So you got a while.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got some time to save up
Pretty
the
Yeah,
early.
got
money
some time
if we
to save
can.
up. So how much you guys think this
Okay,
was?
I'm-
1/6.
1/6. Yes.
6 scale.
Yes.
I
Yes.
guess
$2.99.
Ooh, $264.
Brian's the closest.
Yes.
Oh, you
It's
win. You
$243.
$243.
Yeah.
By the way, Hot Toys also has a really cool Mandalorian figure too.
I already
that I really
pre-ordered
want to
it.
buy it. You pre-ordered it?
And the IG-11.
Okay, take a prize for yourself there. Do you want
What do I get?
you? How about the new episode I haven't seen yet? right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to buy his app. I'm going to make his app.
All right.
Thank you.
So where can we find you on the social interwebs?
So you can find my Twitter if you want to see me occasionally talk about One Piece and politics. Dark King Zoro, all one word.
Okay.
It's Twitter. I have my work that I haven't posted in a long time, Banendorf, on DeviantArt. Catch new episodes of Rick and Morty, obviously. And then I was going to say, oh, yeah.
Yeah, your
You can
podcast
watch my
probably.
podcast interview with Sabrina Mati and Anthony Ant for short. We do Animation Success Stories podcast. That's on YouTube. That's ASS podcast, ASS for short. So that's my second curse word. We interview other animation professionals. We do voice actors, writers, directors, designers, and production people.
That's so cool that you do
Yeah.
that show. And by the way, Sabrina was one of my students at Art Institute, so I take full credit for all the success she has. No. But we do have to throw out one last thing
Oh, yeah,
before
events,
for
right?
events.
Yeah.
We are plugging a very, very good G.I. Joe show coming up soon. SoCal Joe Show, but I should be remiss if I don't say it's Beyond Joe. It's everything that's like cool from 80s toys, 90s toys. A lot of great vendors. Our good friends, Toy Wizards, Scott and Lauren, are supporting this show. I believe they're going to be set up there as well. They've got door prizes every hour. If you look at the guest list there, it's very impressive.
Buzz
So
Dixon.
definitely check it out, December 1st. So any other events?
We're going to be at DesignerCon.
DesignerCon this weekend.
And also, Nerdbot is going to be doing a special event for New Year's.
Oh, there we
at the
go.
Dave and Buster's.
Gotham
Gatsby.
Gatsby.
Yep. So dress up in your finest and throw on a, I don't know, Batman cowl or a Riddler mask or something.
Yeah.
Or paint your face up like the Joker and get hammered.
And do that
great.
dance down the stairs.
And also, Anime LA.
Anime LA
Next year.
is coming up
Next year,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Brian,
So-
do you have any events coming up?
You want to plug?
Not right now. No, I'm sorry.
No worries.
All right. What
yeah.
about you, David? Where can we find you on the interwebs?
Oh, you know where to find me. I'm always here at Toyzilla, except for Mondays. Interwebs, you can find me at Toyzilla Store. And now you can find me at Chibirama and Tochirama, which is very cool because now that's our new toy manufacturing company. So I'll be on there a lot more. And on the Kickstarter campaign, campaigning hard, just like Donald Trump, but hopefully not not the same way.
Stop saying stuff like that.
I got some F-bombs I can drop, but if you want, we have
I
like
can
2 seconds.
definitely have F-bombs. about
You want?
Trump.
Do you have? You could have my F-bomb if you want.
Yeah, fuck Trump.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, pal.
All right. Well,
One
you
F-bomb from you before we close.
No. I'm going to stay good. I'm going to stay pure.
Good for you. Good for you.
All right. Anyway, you can find me all over the interwebs, such as my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/MichaelPowellDoesStuff, because, well, I do a lot of stuff. And you can also find me on my Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Mr. Kapow. That's MRKAPAO. I'm also the editor-in-chief of Suit Up Geek Out. We are a men's fashion and lifestyle site, and I have a new project right now going on Facebook called Aesthetic Retro. So until next time, be good, be great, be awesome.